Well, hello, welcome or welcome back, whichever it is. I'm happy you're here. Tonight's dinner, I woke up thinking about this meal this morning. I woke up saying I wanted some beef tips with gravy over mashed potatoes and corn in a bowl. That's what I woke up thinking about this morning. So that's what we're gonna make. I don't have beef tip, but I got chuck roast that I can chop up. So let's get it, let's go, let's heat up the pots. This is what you're going to need for this delicious meal. You're going to need the beef, of course, some onion soup mix, an onion, brown gravy mix, beef broth, potatoes for mashing, and of course, some corn. All right, so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to chunk up the chuck roast because I want it more like as if it were like beef tips. I'm hoping that's what my end result is going to be. If not, we could just have it shredded over mashed potatoes. But I'm going to attempt it. I want to cut it down into chunks, and then I'm going to season it and sear it in the pan, and then throw it in the crock pot. So let me get to dicing this up. Okay, so I got the beef all chunked up. I'm going to put on a glove here and start adding my seasonings. Okay, so I'm going to put it in this bowl. Okay. Now the plan is, now I left some of the fat on the meat, and I left some pieces of fat loose in here because what I want to do is use some of the fat to cook it with. So I left some fat pieces that I will not be putting into the crock pot, but some of the fat pieces I want in there to cook the meat with. All right, so, oh, why did I do that? All right, let me take this glove off. I'm gonna add a pack of Lipton soup mix. Hold it right there. That's not the Lipton soup mix, that's the brown gravy. I'll notice, but it takes me a while. It's just going to give us some nice flavor, guys. You don't need to add the whole pack, but I am adding some because we're going to have beef gravy on this. Okay, so I used about half of the pack. I'm going to put a little bit of garlic in there. Just a little, you know. I'm not going to add the onion that I took out because I put the onion soup in there. I'm also not going to add salt because I put the onion soup in there. But I will add some pepper. Ah, totally forgot. Don't do like I do. Start with a little EVOO in there so it sticks to the meat, the seasoning. Just a drizzle across of it. Just enough to make it stick. Take the glove hand, and we're gonna, oop. All right, let me get the oven, not the oven. Gotta get the pan heating. I want it good and hot because I want it to sear. I'm not cooking it, I'm just searing it. I want a little bit more. So I'm going to move you over to the frying pan, and we're going to sear the meat. Want a good crust on it. I know where all those little pieces of fat went that I had. I only got one hand with a glove on it, so I'm trying to. I want to put the fatty pieces in there first. So let me move you on over. All right, so I got the pan good and smoking hot. I want to get some of that fat in there cooking. Now we're just going to add the beef. It wasn't as hot as I thought it was. Turned it up a little bit. Trying to make it in as single a layer as I can. And if I need to do it in 2 batches, then I'll just have to do it in 2 batches. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to take a little bit out. Because I want a good sear on this. I don't want to crowd the pan. Start off with a little bit in the pan so you can get a single layer as best you can. Okay. We'll keep that searing or cooking. You see these pieces right here? Oh, and I want it to fall off the fork. You don't want it to cook through. I just want it to look like this. Just like that. And then I'm going to move it over to the crock pot. Okay, as these pieces are browning like this one, I'm just going to move it on over to the crock pot so I can get more room in here. All right, so these are about good enough for me. I'm going to take these out, put them in the crock pot, and then put the second batch in. All righty, that last batch, all done, going in the crock pot. Now, how do I forget to cook? I put that onion soup mix in there, and I totally forgot. Now, this step isn't necessary. You could just throw the onions right in. I kind of want to caramelize mine just a little, so that's what I'm going to do. Just a little. I'll cook them low and slow, and I'll add them to the beef that's already cooked. I don't want those brown ends in there. All right, so I'm going to cook these low and slow, and I'll be back. All right, that's it. I don't want it to cook down too far because I want some of the flavor in the pan. Ouch. All right, so we're going to add the onions in. Instead of water and making gravy, I'm going to use beef broth. I can use water. I'm choosing not to because see how much I'm going to put in here. I'm probably going to put in like at least two to 4 cups. This is a ½ cup measuring. This is one of those collapsible kinds. 1. That's 1 cup. 2 cups. I'm going to put 3 in here. Leave a little bit for later. 4. All right, there you have it. I'm gonna cook that on low because I have time today, but I don't want that one in there. I'm gonna cook it on low for about 4 hours. And then we'll get to peeling up the potatoes. Oh, it's just gonna be good, y'all. It smells so good. All right, insert time travel here. Okay, so I made a mistake. I accidentally grabbed the this package instead of this package when I was browning the meat. So don't do what I did. Add the onion mix first. It's not going to make or break the meal, but I wanted to cook it and sear it with this. But I did open up. I did add it in. It's smelling so delicious, you guys. I can't even tell you. But we're just going to keep letting it go. We're going to trust the process. Okay, so we're coming down the home stretch here. So I'm going to peel and boil up some potatoes for mashed potatoes. I started a big pot of potatoes because that's where all the filling is going to come from. I'm going to salt them down real good and boil them until they're ready to be mashed. And I'll be back when that happens. So that's what we got going on in there. I'm going to make this a little thicker. I want a nice thicker gravy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a tablespoon a tablespoon of cornstarch. Get a little bit of the juice in there. And we're going to give it a good shimmy shake, shimmy shake, shimmy shake, and then add it to it so that it, I lost my lid, oh here it is, so that it thickens up. Now, since I accidentally added the beef gravy, the beef packeting earlier, I only have a little bit left, but that's okay, because we're gonna add the rest of what's in here. It was all going in anyway, didn't matter what order it went into, but let me just give this a shake really quick because it wants to spill out. Okay, so I shook up the cornstarch, a little bit of the juice, and now I'm just going to add the rest of this packet in here so that when I add it to the pot, it's not quite as powdery or clumpy or anything. So I'm going to add a little bit at a time so not to make it clumpy. Break in. Give it a good shimmy shake. Shimmy, shimmy, shake, shake. All right. Shimmy, shimmy, shake, shake. I did it all the way. I actually have 2 of them because one was getting full. So we're going to add that in there. Oop, there's some thickness in that one. Pour it in. I want to make sure there's no clumps in it like the other one had clumps. And this is going to thicken it up. Let me fix the other one just a little bit. Okay, I'm going to add the rest of this in there. There's a couple of little clumpy clumps in there. I'm trying not to get into my food. See it? Wants to come out. It ain't going in. I'm not letting it happen. All right, so I'll be back when that thickens up a little bit and the potatoes are done. All right, so the potatoes are done. My mashed potatoes are very basic. They're just salt, pepper, milk, and vegetable spread. Country crock is what I use because Eric can't use regular butter. So I'll do ours separate from his and very, very simple. Okay, so I start with a nice plop of butter, or what we call butter. Pepper to taste. Oh. Salt, and then a splash of milk. Okay, that's the first batch of mashed potatoes. Done. Now we'll get started on Eric's. Here we go with Eric's. Eric's is basically the same. Sometimes I use his milk in here, like oat milk or soy milk or something like that. But a lot of times he doesn't want that because it will taste like that rather than the potatoes. So what I do instead is I put some water in it. And sometimes I use the starchy water from the pot, but I forgot to keep it out today. So that's what we're gonna do for Eric. Okay, that's the family one. That's the quotations Eric one because he won't be the only one eating it, I'm sure. I got the beef back here. We got the corn warming up. And guess what? Where am I going to meet you? At the table. Alrighty. Well, there's my plate. Looking yummy. Yummy. And yummy. Let's get to the table and eat. I cannot wait, guys. I've been smelling this all day. Let's get to the table. Let's get to the taste test. If you get any benefit at all from my content, you can help me out by clicking like, share, commenting, and definitely hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. Okay, here we are. Ooh, okay, we're gonna give it a taste test. Let's go. Get a little bit of beef and the gravy. Eric's never had this. Eric's new to beef, remember. A little bit of beef and some corn with that. Oh, I can't wait. I didn't even have to chew. I just basically had to move my tongue around. This meat is so tender. What do you think?
It's delicious. It's just deliciousness in a bowl.
Mine's deliciousness on a plate. I thought you might want to see what we were eating. Not see me eating. All right, well, let me get the kids' bed. This is delicious. And it was so simple. What do we do? Brown up the meat, threw it in the pot, let it cook for a couple hours, made some potatoes, bingity bangity boom, there you are. So, it's a must try, yes? All right. I'll see you in the next one. And what, Eric? What are they supposed to do?
Like and subscribe.
There you go. Okay, well, dinner is over. How did we do? Did we like it? Did we hate it? Did some like it? Did some not like it? All gone. Every bit of it. They actually wanted me to make more after the whole day was over. However, I did make a lot of mashed potatoes. So there's like a half a Ziploc baggie of mashed potatoes left over. They won't have long to live. They'll be gone very shortly. We'll eat it tomorrow for lunch or something, but doesn't have long to live. So there you have it, and Eric's is just as empty. I hope you try it. I hope you like it. And hey, hit my face down there and become a subscriber too. Bye-bye. See you in the next one.